Well, we've got more breaking news on the incoming Trump administration. The president-elect naming Monica Crowley, a frequent Fox News and Fox Business guest, as Senior Director of Strategic Communications for the National Security Council. Also, economist Larry Kudlow reportedly will chair the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Trump also tapped campaign aide Stephen Miller to be senior advisor. Mr. Miller appeared on Hannity last night, said the next phase is Supreme Court picks. Watch this.
Are we going to get originalists on the court?
Yes, so we're actually, that's one of the first things that's going to happen is, we're going through the cabinet process right now, but next is Supreme Court. Right. He has a list of 20 judges. We worked with the Federal Society.
He's down to 4, he already told me.
Yep, and we've got it down to just a few, and the names are names that people are going to love who believe the Constitution should be interpreted as it was intended.
Well, look who's here. Fox News senior judicial analyst. He is Judge Andrew Napolitano. You met with President-elect Trump today. What was the meeting about?
Well, what Mr. Miller said earlier is largely true. The president-elect is nearing the end of completing the nominations for his cabinet and has turned his attention to the Supreme Court. And I think he began today soliciting opinions from a lot of people who watch and monitor and read about and study and write about and lecture about the Supreme Court, to get our opinions about the mentality of the judge that he's looking for. So basically, that's what we talked about. What type of human being should he put on the court to fill the shoes of the late Antonin Scalia and fulfill his political promises to the people that elected him?
You know, Judge, this story about the Russian hacks into the election, you have excellent, of course, intelligence sources, and the intelligence agencies are saying they're going to, I guess, reports indicate that they're going to continue whether the Russians obtained Clinton campaign emails in order to sway the election. You had a terrific column. I read it. You said there was no hacking at all. Can you explain that?
Yes. The people in the NSA and in most American intelligence agencies are computer experts, and they have explained to me that there's a leak and there's a hack. Leaking consists of revealing the contents of emails to people for whom the emails were not intended. That's what happened to Mrs. Clinton. Someone leaked her emails to WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks leaked them to the rest of us. You remember this, EMAC. We talked about it a lot on Stuart's shows, like Stuart Varney's shows. Like every morning, another 4,000 or 5,000 emails were coming out for the last 3 or 4 weeks of the campaign. Hacking occurs when someone remotely enters a computer operational system and alters the operational system. An example would be to remove cash from a bank account, or to remove names from an address book, or to alter vote totals. Is there evidence of leaking? Absolutely. 50,000, 60,000 of Mrs. Clinton's colleagues' emails were leaked to WikiLeaks. It almost doesn't matter who did it, it was done. But there is no evidence of hacking, because if you wanted to alter vote totals, you wouldn't hack Mrs. Clinton, you wouldn't hack the DNC, you'd hack the various state registrars who record the names of people who are registered to vote and who record what the votes are.
What do you make of their argument that, that the leaks, WikiLeaks, swayed the election and Russia's to blame?
Well, I have not seen the raw data. We have 17 publicly known intelligence agencies in the United States. They all use the same data. They get the raw data from the NSA, because the NSA, for better or for worse, whether it's constitutional or not, I've argued it's not, has unfettered 24/7 access to every fiber optic cable in the United States, so it can obtain in real time every email and text message sent into the country, out of the country, or anywhere in the country. That data was presented to CIA agents and FBI agents. Same data looked at by 2 different teams. One team said it's the Russians. CIA said that. The other team said it's not the Russians. The FBI said that. I have not seen the raw data, but the people with whom Fox News has spoken has seen it, and those people say there are no fingerprints of the Russians on it. So whoever did this to Mrs. Clinton didn't want her to win. Who had an incentive for her not to win? Might it have been the intelligence agencies, the names of whose undercover assets were revealed in her sloppy, careless, reckless maintenance of state secrets, whose lives were jeopardized and threatened by the terrible manner in which she maintained state secrets as Secretary of State? That's what these folks are suggesting.
You know, sir, now we have, this push on to get the Electoral College members to change their votes. We just did a story about even Hollywood is trying to get the Electoral College to change their votes. The question is that constitutional to get for any electoral member to change their vote?
Well, I hope they don't change their votes, because the reaction to it would be a dark time in American history. But yes, they can constitutionally change their vote. The purpose of the Electoral College was to separate the popular vote from the actual selection of the presidency. But the chances of this are so remote, Emac. Your typical Donald Trump pledged elector is a very strong supporter of Donald Trump from long before he was elected. The chances of those people changing their votes, no matter what kind of pressure is put them, is very slim.
Quickly, there's state law and then there's constitutional law. Which one prevails when it comes to how the electors are supposed to vote?
The Constitution is silent about how the electors can vote. Madison wrote the electors have a free conscience, but state laws have said you better vote the way you promised, otherwise we're going to come after you for fraud.
All right. Judge Andrew Napolitano, always terrific. Love having you, sir. Thank you so much.
All the best, Emac. Thank you.